This video is about how to sell high ticket offers to your email list. So if you've got a high ticket offer and you've got an email list, you're in the right place. I've used the framework in this video to put on 3 six-figure launches, including one course launch that brought in over $316,000. I've also used it on more 5-figure promos than I can count. So here's how I do it. So step one is you want to put together your offer and your landing page. So you want to have a limited time offer that's a slightly more attractive version of your current offer. So you can do that by offering a discount. You can do that by offering a limited time bonus. You can also do it like I'm doing it one with a current client where I'm just saying, hey, we're going to raise the price of this program soon. So if you want in at the current price, you have to sign up right now. And then you want to put together a small landing page for it. You can, if you have a good landing page that's working already, you can just use the page that you have right now and only mention the special offer in the emails. You can also, if you really want to, you can put together a landing page just for this launch, just for this promo. If you don't have a landing page at all, then you're going to want to put one together for this because it's pretty hard to sell high ticket just via email. You're going to want to have like a short VSL and a book a call button. So step one, once you have that ready to go, is you're going to want to tease your list. Send 2 to 3 emails right before the promo starts, telling people a little bit about the promo. You're sharing like, hey, I'm going to have a special offer soon. If you have this problem, then you should listen up. This works really well if you're launching something completely new. And you can use this framework for launching a completely new program as well. But if you're just doing a special version of your regular offer, you can use this too. What you want to do in these emails is you want to give free value. You want to explain the why behind what you're doing. And you want to tease people, obviously. You want to give them just enough to make them curious and make them open your next emails, but not so much that they know exactly what to expect. And then you want to tell people at the bottom of the email, like, hey, on this date or in the very near future, I'm going to have something new. I'm going to have an offer, so keep an eye on your inbox. Also, if you haven't emailed your list in a while, you're going to want to send more warm-up emails than this, right? So for the client that I'm working with right now, it's our first time working together. He has never sent any emails other than his welcome sequence and some other automations to his email list. And so I'm sending a few, I'm going to be sending a few just like, hey, here's this really valuable content. Here's, how to do the thing that you would hire me to do on your own. Just stuff to get people to say like, wow, this guy knows what he's doing. Just get them to kind of remember your name and get them to see you as a bigger expert and want to buy something from you when the time rolls around for you to sell something. Step 2 is you're going to open your cart and you're going to send an email where you announce the sale. And this is going to be a pretty straightforward email. You're just going to say, hey, I'm opening the cart for this offer, or I have this new thing right now. You can only get it right now. Say that I don't think I put this in the document, but you're going to want to say when the offer lasts until. So say like, hey, this is only open until next Tuesday or next Thursday or 2 weeks from now or the end of the month or whatever. You're going to explain whatever the details of the sale are. You're going to remind people about the benefits of your offer. Include a little bit of social proof. Basically, this is an everything email where you want to have just kind of a little bit of every single copywriting element inside of it. So you say, hey, here's the offer, here's the benefits, here's the proof, here's the special details of the offer, this is the deadline, and here's the link to buy, basically. If you're in a saturated market, which most people are in a saturated market if they're selling high ticket, you want to remind people why your offer is different from the competition, and you're going to do that in this email as well. And then step 3 is you're going to email your list. During the promo window, you will send an email to your list every single day. And how do you do that without killing your deliverability and making people angry at you and unsubscribe? You do that by giving people content and having fun to read emails that transition at the end into a sales pitch, right? So you don't say, you're not just saying, hey, the launch is still going on, so here's the link. What you do is you have content, you have something fun to read, you answer some question of theirs, or you have just something that they want to read. And then you say, hey, by the way, I'm having this promo going on, and it lasts until this date. Remind people of the deadline over and over again. That's really important because what you're going to see, I'll explain more about this later in the video, but what you're going to see is most of the signups are going to happen either on the first day or the last day. And so it's really about getting people to open the inbox and look at one of your emails on the very last day. And so if you remind people when the deadline is, they're more likely to say, like, that kind of puts in the back of their mind, okay, if I want this offer, I have to decide by this time. And then step 4 is you close your cart, right? On the last day of your sale, you want to send 2 or more emails. I've seen as many as 8 emails work really well for this. If you don't mind getting a few complaints, a few unsubscribes, you can send 4 or 5 emails. 2 is if you're faint of heart, if you're like, no, I don't want to email my list that much. This makes me uncomfortable. I'm already emailing them every single day. I would say send 2, and then once you know it works, then you can kind of up the ante and send some more. You're going to tell people that your sale is ending, just like really early on in the email, like, hey, today's the last day. This is going to be, every single one of these emails is going to be a normal email like this one, where you lead with value and it's content based and there's questions and stuff. And then the very last email you send is just going to be it's going to be more of a hard sales pitch, where you say the offer is ending. Here are all the reasons you should sign up. Here's the link to sign up. You will see the majority of your signups on the very last day. People procrastinate. People only make decisions when they are forced to make a decision. So, this is the reason why you have limited time offers and deadlines in the first place, is because signups, they roll in at the very end. That's just kind of the human nature. That's the way these sorts of sales work. And the way that you get max value out of one of these promos and you maximize your sales is by hyping up the deadline a lot and really doing the best job that you can on the very last day of the sale. If you run a call funnel, this can be kind of tricky, because people will be like, oh, well, I have to book my call to buy, and what if I book my call after the deadline? So you want to say in the email, people have this kind of thing in the back of their head, like, what happens if I sign up for a call after this? Tell people in the email, hey, if you book a call before then, or if you book a call before the deadline and the call takes place after the deadline, you are still eligible for the special offer. And then, I went over this already, but only hard sell on the very last email. Everything else is content and then transition into a sales pitch. And I did not mention this when I had the note to mention it, but for more on how to write these types of emails, I'll put a video up in the other corner of the screen. You can click on that, and it'll teach you how I write these kind of half content and half sales emails. And then step 5 is you want to have a soft landing so that you can do this again. I like to run these promos for my clients every single month. I find that to be the amount of emails that kind of maximizes sales while minimizing fatigue of sale of people. And you don't want to be the guy that's always selling, but you also have to sell to make money. And so the way that you manage having these sales without pissing off your email list and without them starting to think of you as the guy that's always selling stuff is you have part of it is having emails that are interesting that sell only at the end. But also part of it is to have a soft landing, which is where you send the day after the sale and just a couple days after the sale. You want to send valuable content to your list where you acknowledge, hey, I sent a lot of emails to everybody who bought. Thank you so much. I'm looking forward to working with you, or I hope you get a lot of value from the content, et cetera, et cetera. And then for everybody who didn't buy, here's a little something for free, and there's valuable content. And this maintains the relationship that you have with your email list. So if you want me to run these promos for you on a commission-only basis, where you don't pay anything up front and you don't pay anything until I make you a sale, and it takes you only about 1 to 2 hours of your own time ever. Most of my clients, it's about 10 to 30 minutes per month after I get them onboarded. There's an hour-long onboarding call on the very first time, and which we can schedule kind of whenever makes sense for your schedule. But yeah, it's basically minimum risk and minimum time commitment for you. That's how I designed this offer. If you are interested in that, you can go to theoseeds.com/promos. I'll put actually, just theoseeds.com works now. I just did a bunch of work on my website. So you'll see the same page if you just go to theoseeds.com. But why don't we go ahead and do this right now? I'll show you my website. So yeah, this is the web page. You can come here. There's a video with me. I'm not a huge fan of this video, so I'm probably going to record a new one soon. But you can learn all about me. You can learn about my offer, and there will be, if you decide that I'm your guy, you can book a, once the Calendly loads. Should probably look into this load time thing, but yeah, here's the and then yeah, you can book a call with me. So yeah, take a look at it, and there will be a link in the description as well if theoseeds.com is too much for you to type into your browser, and I will see you there.